We're here with the fabulous, infamous Jim Deters from Galvanize, who I have never met before, but you're like famous around here.
Oh, well, we're just trying to help people out.
There's some very exciting things happening this week with Galvanize. Want to tell us all about it?
Yeah, well, Galvanize kind of all started with working to coalesce or catalyze the startup community here to really build density and sort of recreate that same experience that you have on the west end of Pearl Street in Boulder. And obviously, creating an event like this is also a galvanizing factor, right? It's a coalescing. Events like this help reinforce bonds and building relationships. And you'll hear in the video that Brett Feld talks about. He talks about the tissue, growing stronger, the connections growing stronger, and I think that's a big part of this week.
So you're talking about the movie that's opening tonight at Galvanize? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Something Ventured is a really neat movie, but we have an opening video that today where we interviewed Brad and we talked about the connective tissue that builds the ties of communities, and the connective tissue that's going to grow and strengthen here in Denver, and then hopefully across even the rest of the Colorado corridor, building more and more bonds between Denver and Boulder and the surrounding communities here. But this is a huge week, putting it all together and opening the doors of Galvanize at the exact same time is pretty special.
So when can we get in? When does it start?
Come on over. We threw an event last night. We're the opening party tonight for Denver Startup Week. But our doors are open. We officially kind of launched the building November 1st, but we're officially open now.
And for somebody out there that might be living under a rock and hasn't heard about Galvanize, can you tell us what's the big vision here? What are you creating?
The big vision is to create an amazing, to fuel the startup community or the entrepreneurial renaissance that we talk about taking shape here. Very specifically, we do 3 C's. We call it capital, community, and curriculum. So we actually do early stage tech investing. Obviously, we're building a community and a workplace as a service, so it's this month-to-month community. So we can help any one person with an idea to small teams or 2 to 3, and we have suites on the outside for companies getting traction, scaling from 6 to about 30. And the last C is curriculum. So we launched by one tweet last week, G School. So we're launching a Ruby on Rails programming school to teach web developers. And we did that in cooperation with Jeff Kazmer and Jumpstart Labs. Jeff is the founder of Hungry Academy at Living Social. So he's been teaching web development since 2003, one of the best instructors in the world. We're launching our first G School Ruby class in January.
Wow.
So those are the fundamental blocks of Galvanize, but ultimately we're trying to fuel this community to help create more breakout companies here in Denver.
Fantastic. And so what does one do if they're sitting at home and they see this video? How do they get involved? How do they sign up? What do they do?
There's lots of ways to get involved. Obviously, DenverStartupWeek.com. There's tons of events going on all over town. Most of them are free. There's also, in general, all sorts of new tech meetings and things like that. There's so many free communal ways to get plugged into the community, and obviously this week is a huge part of showing the whole community what's available. Specifically to get into Galvanize, galvanize.it. There's a contact to apply. It is a curated community, so we have to accept you in. Eventually, there'll be a public cafe open, so the lobby of Galvanize is actually a cafe called Gather, and which will open in December. So Galvanize is open to the public, and there'll be great coffee and beer, and my restaurant group team is putting that together. And so lots of ways to get involved.
And they can just drop your name and say they're a personal friend of Jim Deters?
Sure.